Hello, this is Guy. I just received some very interesting information that I wanted to share. Considering everything that's going on the earth right now, it's very important to keep our vibration as high as we possibly can. And the reason for us falling into a lower vibrational state is oftentimes caused by interpersonal relations. So I just received some information on how this is generated and what we can do to alleviate it. So I was explained that when somebody hurts someone, if somebody does something hurtful to us, then the pain that we feel is basically made out of two different components. One component is we are feeling the pain of this person who's inflicting their own pain on us. So it's actually not our pain, but it's the pain of somebody else that we are feeling. And then that triggers an unresolved issue inside of ourselves, and that is our pain. So it's very important to keep these two apart. And to know, first of all, that part of the pain that we're feeling is not our pain at all. And the part of the pain that is ours is for us to resolve and doesn't have anything to do with the other person because it's an issue that had been there before. It is something that we haven't resolved yet. So I asked, how can we resolve this? Can we just neutralize it? And I received the answer, not neutralize it, but see the other side of it, because everything always has dark and light. And whatever we encounter is like a coin with two sides. One side is light, one side is dark. And when we are in the darkness, we tend to not see the light. So we either see the one side or the other, but if we see both, then we integrate it. So if we see or we concentrate on the light side of what we are experiencing, which is that we are learning through every experience, and there is a hidden present, even though that is sometimes very hard to understand, in any experience that we have if we are willing to receive it. I'm just going to give you an example. I had a very painful experience where I was mobbed out of my work. And at the time, it was so incredibly painful the way that it happened, because it was really, it was. There were a lot of things involved that were lies and backstabbing, and it was so hurtful that I was about to lose faith in humanity. I thought, if somebody can do something like that, what else is out there? And plus, I really thought, where I'm going to find work right now, because it was in the middle of this financial crisis, and the options weren't really sprouting everywhere. And finally, this really put me on such an incredible path that had me discover sides of reality and sides of the world that I would have never ever dreamed of. It gave me the opportunity, first of all, to create my own organization, which really brought together all the gifts that I have in doing something that I truly love and really tapping on my potential. And what I was doing in this other institution, I really liked that also. I mean, I really loved my work, but it was very limited in many aspects because, I could only do something that was in the lines with the space that I had been given there. So all of a sudden, there were these incredible opportunities. I met wonderful friends all over the world, which would have never met otherwise. And it gave me the opportunity to take extended times outside of the country to discover, yeah, a lot of who I am, and that's another story. But it was opening up a universe for me, really. And also, the time that I spent now during the whole time that we were in this crisis with the virus. Um, Also, what I experienced that met uh, incredible new friends that are very important to me, that have really um, opened me up in many ways and are really teaching me. And I w- wouldn't have been able to live what I lived through that time if I had stuck without work. So it was just a gift on so many levels. And I remember the moment that I was just completely desperate and kind of saying to source or the divine or whatever you want to call it, what am I supposed to do? I really have absolutely no option and I'm so absolutely desperate. And then kind of just receiving the message and the way that you receive messages really is that all of a sudden your direction is your attention is directed to something and you feel there's something that is talking to you that is not just you. It is like something is has a strange sign or a very intense meaning to you, which goes above looking at something in the way that you would usually do it. So what happened to me in this moment was that I had a magazine open on my table, and it said something about doing your own project. It was an art magazine. Like, just make it happen or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it said. But anyway, I looked at that magazine, I read that headline, and when I read it, I knew that this is for me. This is for me. Do your own projects. And that's how it started. That's how the idea started. That's how I started getting into action and doing everything. And yeah, incredible things have happened since then, and I'm so glad in hindsight that this happened, that I was mobbed out of this workplace, because I would have not gone out of my free will. I already felt that it was the end of my time there. I had felt that before, but I thought, oh no, but I can't go. But where am I going to find work now? So financially insecure, and all my colleagues, I can't let them down, and all that stuff. So I wouldn't have gone by myself, and I was made to go. And this was a very painful experience, but this was what it brought me. So it was at the time, I think it was probably the most painful experience I've ever had in my life, because I just couldn't believe the the evilness of people. Or yeah, so what could happen to you. But uh, yeah, I mean, I was ready to go and die, basically. And it just brought me this incredible opening. Yeah, so that's the one thing that I wanted to say. And the other thing I wanted to say was, yeah, what I was shown today, concerning what's happening here right now, is that, when you have um, a kitchen sink, and there is mm, the plug. I don't actually know the word for this, but when all the dirt, that's in the sink, is the drain is pulled through the drain. You know how that goes. It goes, and then it concentrates in the middle, and then it's gone. And before it's everywhere in the sink, and then in the last couple of seconds, it's concentrated in the center around the drain, and then soaked up by the drain. And what I was told today is that this is what's happening right now. Everything is uh, gathering in the center, and that's why our attention and everything that is on everything that is happening globally right now, and also in our countries, mm, is on all the dirt and all the horrible things, the you know injustice, the yeah, I don't even want to name all of it. It's just really, really dirty. So this is what we're seeing right now, and this is the final time before everything is soaked up. It's concentrating in the center. And and then I said, okay, so when it's gone, is it gonna be gone for everybody? Because yeah, I had received the information before that this is really a time where everybody places where they go. Everybody determines where they go with their free will, with their choice, with their attention. Where do they focus? What do they truly believe in? In the bottom of their hearts, do they believe in the abyss and in the apocalypse and the world going down the drain, or do they believe in the eternal source of life, which is light? Do they believe that they are doomed, or do they believe that there is help and that we are connected to something so much bigger than what we can fathom, which always brings us back to the divine, to the source of our life, to the source of creation? So it is up to us, really, where we place our attention and what we focus on, what we follow. If you keep following the news all the time and it really gets you down, then this is focusing on the dark side. And if it really gets you down, it's not going to contribute to either your own development or the development globally, because it makes it bigger. Which doesn't mean that you need to totally ignore it, but watch how you feel when you consume this information. Because as soon as you feel really bad, or as soon as you feel bad, that adds to what you have just consumed as an information, to the creation of it. So it's really you feeling that matters. And so I asked, as I said, is it going to be like this for everybody? And they said to me, everybody, as they had said before, everybody's free to choose how they experience this um, these new times that are coming and this new planet that's being birthed. Nobody is forced to awaken. And a lot of people are now also leaving, a lot of people are leaving this realm, meaning they are dying, for different reasons. And of course, our lives is arranged by us along with all the other players that are taking place, that are participating in this theater play that we are acting out here. And we also have arranged an exit point. And so a lot of people who are leaving now, they have, basically everybody, they have work elsewhere. And a lot of them have chosen that, this is too much because the times are intense and the change is really big. And the rise in vibration on the earth is very high. And not everybody's ready for this because it involves change. It really involves change. And it involves, you know, for the person to be flexible and to be willing to open up. And some people are not at the stage at this point, and that's totally fine because, in the end, and that's what my star people have assured me again and again, we will all be there. Nobody will be lost. Yeah, so it's not just for the chosen few, it's for everyone. And so I asked, what's that going to look like? Is there going to be different versions of Earth? Because if everybody's free to place themselves in whatever reality they choose or whatever version, what's that going to look like? And they said, yeah, there will be parallel versions, but not for very long. And they also said that, because I asked, does that mean that there will be different Earths coexisting simultaneously? And they said, the Earth will only be one, but people are going to experience what is happening from varying perspectives, depending on where they choose to focus, because it kind of sucks them in. Um, and and then they gave me this really nice image because I wanted to know, uh, how should I imagine that if everything is happening here? They said we're all going to be here and we're all going to be able to communicate with each other no matter where we stand and what kind of perspective we choose. And um, they gave me this image, which I thought was pretty funny, of this wonderful party in this garden where people are dancing and laughing and having fun, and then under these big leaves there are people completely drunk and wasted, passed out underneath the leaf and sleeping. So not really participating in all the joy that's happening. Yeah, so that's what I have been given as an image. Um, yeah, and yeah, again, to explain, if the question comes up, like, how do we choose a perspective that brings us joy? This is the time to really work on yourself, to really be with yourself, and to reconnect, if you haven't done that already, with this force of life that we all come from. It is our source, it is our fuel, it is who we are. We all come from this source of life, this source of creation, the divine. And we need to get back in touch. If we want to stay in the light, Of course, as I said earlier, we're free to not do that and to, um, you know, live out what we choose. But the storms are gonna take care of everything that doesn't have a root, and just, toss it about. So, yeah, um, that's what I wanted to say. And yeah, wishing you a good connection. Find your connection. Take time for yourself. Spend time in meditation and learn to be still. That's it for today. Bye.